If I ask you right now to describe your sales process, not your product, not your pitch, your actual process, step by step, could you do it? Not the version you want to have, the version that you actually run today. Here's the problem with that. You can't teach instinct. You can't measure a feeling. And you can't hand off something that only exists in your head. He hired his first rep, handed her a list of contacts, and said, "Just do what I do." 6 months later, she had closed nothing. Do what I do is not a process. It's a personality. And personalities don't scale. Today, I'm going to show you how to fix that. We're going to build a one-page sales process together, right now, in less than an afternoon. This is the foundation of everything else. I'm Mark from Rice Revenue Consulting. It's one page, 5 sections, simple enough that a new rep can just pick it up on day one and know exactly what to do. Here's a 5-section framework that I use with every founder I work with. Section 1, lead source. The first question your process has to answer is, where do your best customers actually come from? Not where you hope they'll come from. And for most early stage B2B founders, the answer is referrals. That matters because if referrals are your best source, but your entire outreach strategy is cold email, you have a misalignment that no amount of email optimization is going to fix. So for this section, write down your top 2 to 3 actual lead sources. Section 2, first contact. Is it an email, a phone call, a LinkedIn message, an introduction from a mutual contact? And more importantly, and this is the importance of the documentation, what do you actually say? This is where most founders get uncomfortable because writing it down feels like it's going to sound scripted. But what I tell them, there's a difference between a script and a framework. A script is word for word. The framework is the structure, the opening, the reason for reaching out, the ask. You fill out the natural language yourself, but the bones are consistent every time. I want you to write down your actual opening line or message, the thing you actually send or say, not a polished version, the real one. If you reach out via email, what does the subject line say? What's the first sentence? And most importantly, what's the call to action at the end? Without a call to action, you're going nowhere. Write it down, all of it. Because here's the truth. If you can't write it down, you can't teach it. If you can't teach it, then you're the only person who can ever do this job. Section 3 is discovery. Discovery is not a pitch. It's not your chance to tell them about your product. It's your chance to understand their world well enough so that when you do present a solution, it maps exactly to what they told you they needed. And that's always the key. So for this section, write down the 5 questions you ask in every first meeting. Not 25, the ones that always move the conversation forward. Remember, this is a one-page script, trying to keep it very simple. Mine start with understanding the current situation. What are you doing today and why is it not working? Then I move to impact. What does that cost you? In time, revenue, stress? Then I move to timeline. Is there a reason this needs to be solved now versus 6 months from now? Those questions tell me everything I need to know, whether to move forward or walk away. Section 4, proposal and offer. Section 4 is where a lot of founders freeze because this is where the money conversation happens. How do you present your solution? What does a proposal actually look like? Is it a slide deck, a one-pager, a follow-up email, a formal contract? There's no right answer, but there has to be an answer. Something consistent, something a rep can replicate. And then the harder question, what objections come up most often? And what do you say? Having that answer makes it so you set up your salesperson for success. The price is higher than we expected. We need to get budget approval. Can you send something over and I'll share it with my team? The last one, send something over, is almost always a stall. And how you respond determines whether the deal moves forward or it dies. Write down your top 3 objectives. Then write down how to handle each one. Not perfectly, just honestly. What do you actually say? Because once it's written down, you can refine it. You can train to it. You can modify it. You can test different responses. You can teach it, like I said. Right now, it's just instinct, and instinct doesn't scale. Then finally, section 5, close and follow-up. This is the one that brings it all together. Most founders are uncomfortable with the close, so they present the proposal, answer the questions, and then they wait. And hope. Hope is not a course of action. Here's what I've learned after years of working with founders on this. The close is not a pressure move, it's a clarity move. It's simply asking, based on what we've talked about, does this feel like the right fit for where you are right now? That's it. That's the ask. And that answer tells you everything. If they say yes, great, you got a deal. What does yes actually look like in your process? Is it a signed contract, an email confirmation, a deposit? Write down exactly what yes requires and what happens next. If they go quiet, this is one that happens more than we want to admit. What is your follow-up sequence? Day 3, day 7, day 14. What do you do to stay in touch? Because fortune really is in the follow-up, and most founders drop it after one attempt. Write down what good follow-up looks like in your process. Keep it simple, but make it exist. When you fill this out, even roughly, something shifts. Suddenly, your sales process exists outside your head. It can be taught to someone else. It can be measured. It can be improved over time. A founder who has this is infinitely more ready to grow than the one who doesn't, regardless of how good their product is. The one-page process is not the finish line. It's the starting line. But you cannot run the race until you're standing on the starting line. Here's your homework. Set aside 2 hours this week, just 2 hours, and fill out all 5 sections. Don't overthink it. Don't wait until it's perfect. A rough version that exists beats a perfect version sitting in your head every single time. Because remember, you can't scale your head. You can download the free one-page worksheet at ricerevenue.com. In the next video, I'm going to talk about how to define your ideal customer that is specific enough that a salesperson could actually use it. Because a great process pointed at the wrong people still doesn't work. Subscribe so you don't miss that one, and drop a comment below. Which of these 5 sections do you think will be hardest for you to write? I read every single comment and I'll answer personally.